The call of the Hogs can be heard all the way to San Francisco.
You're listening to Pod at the Palace with Curtis Wilkerson on Inside Arkansas.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday, and welcome back to the Pod at the Palace. I'm your host, Curtis Wilkerson with Inside Arkansas. Hope everybody's doing well this morning. Shout out to the Coffee Club. Everybody listening out there today, really do appreciate you guys for tuning in, making the Pod at the Palace a part of your day. We got a lot to get into, to be honest with you, as we turn the page and kind of ratchet up the intensity levels a little bit, right? Like 10 notches. I said a little bit, but we're leveling this thing up big time ahead of this weekend trip to East Lansing for Arkansas to take on Michigan State, the second game of the year, going and playing a true road game against Tom Izzo and his fellas out there. This is a big one. Are the young guns ready for this? Which vets need to step up for Arkansas? Will the Hogs be at full strength? And what is it going to look like if they aren't? We're going to talk about all those things. And we're going to do our deep dive preview for this game a little bit later in the week. But I'm also going to talk a little bit today about how Tom Izzo is feeling about his squad going into this matchup. So we'll play a little bit from Michigan State's post-game press conference. And, it was kind of a meh win for them over Colgate in their season opener. You can decide if Tom Izzo's words make you feel better or worse about what we're going to see on Saturday. And we'll get into a recruiting update as well at the end of the show, a notable one. So make sure that you stick around for that one. Things are moving on the old recruiting trail, folks. Hey, today's episode of the Pod at the Palace is presented by Gracie Frizzell of Collier & Associates, our official real estate expert here at Inside Arkansas. Officially licensed in both Arkansas and Oklahoma, Gracie is here to take care of all your real estate needs. Whether you're looking for investment property, a game day getaway, land investment, or a new home, Gracie is your trusted guide from start to finish. Give her a call or text today at 501-690-3868 for questions on all things real estate, or check her out on Instagram at Gracie Frizz. It's Gracie Frizzell of Collier & Associates, the official real estate expert of Inside Arkansas. All right, folks, I truly do. Sometimes you get caught in the moment. I get it. I'm bad about that. Sometimes I kind of forget what it is I'm witnessing. I hope you haven't been taken for granted what we've all been witnessing so far with Darius Acuff and Malik Thomas. A couple guys on the early track for the best freshman duo to ever suit up at Arkansas. And is it too early to say that? I don't know. Is it? Like, there's a long ways to go, of course, but the first impressions, they've been plenty loud enough for us to start having these conversations, at least, because if they stay on the track that they're on, I don't know that it even is a conversation. These guys have been awesome. Like, is this what an injury-free world would have looked like with like the Nick Smith and Anthony Black duo? I don't know, man. I love AB. He's one of my all-time favorites to cover. Super happy for Nick, by the way. He had a huge game for the Lakers the other night. Did you guys see that? My man was hooping. It was good to see. Wish we would have been able to see more of that at Arkansas. It didn't work out that way, but I don't know. This Cuff and Leak situation, it feels different to me. I mean, I loved Moses and Devo and Jay Will and that freshman class, and that's all fine and dandy, but this talent, it's on another stratosphere. I think about Carter and Billy and Boogie last year. The list goes on and on and on, but I don't know. It's wild. Honestly, and thinking back to that 2020 class, like Moses and Jalen Williams, those guys are established NBA veterans right now. And this just feels a little bit different. Hell, this time a year ago, we were wondering if Carter Knox would ever make a shot. And like, is Billy Richmond even really going to play? Or is he like the ninth man in an 8-man rotation? What does this look like? It feels like a lifetime ago. Look at him now. Our piglets have grown into hogs, or whatever it was that no one used to say. But I don't know, man. Is it a stretch to say this? But I would at least hear an argument that Isaiah Sealy is nearly as far along right now as Carter and Billy were at this stage last year. Maybe not quite, but the difference is you really had to rely on those two a year ago, and you're not in that situation with Sealy. It's kind of a luxury for Arkansas, but I don't know, man. Would you trade Darius Acuff or Malik Thomas right now for sophomore season Boogie Fland? I'll answer it for you. Hell no. Ain't no way. And this is why it never made a lick of sense, by the way, for Boogie to return to Arkansas. When he decided he wasn't going pro, Florida was going to be the move all along, but never would have worked out at Arkansas. Wouldn't have made a lick of sense. Good luck with the Gators, by the way. We'll see you in February, man. Acuff had 22 in that game against Southern the other night. Leak had 21. And that is the second and third highest freshman debut scoring-wise from Razorbacks all time. Shout out to Pat Bev, by the way, who had he had 29 against SEMO in his debut in 2006. Now, I know that was only one game, so far. That's all that officially counts in the stat sheets, right? But for the sake of sample size, I have their stats from the 2 exhibitions plus the Southern game. So the 3 games against outside competition that we've seen, just to give you a little bit more context about what we're working with, what we're witnessing here. Darius Acuff, 18.7 points. He's shooting 52.5% from the field, 38.5% from 3. And he's got 15 assists to just 4 turnovers. That's really good, man. And Malik Thomas, a little bit better. I mean, 20.7 points per game over these 3, 54.8% field goal percentage. And he takes some tough shots to be there. 43.5% from 3 on high volume, 14 assists to 5 turnovers. So here's my question. We're talking about, where would this duo rank in Arkansas freshman history? Like, you'd have to go way back to the glory days, I think, to find another crew that maybe we'd be able to compare this to. Early returns, at least. But where will this tandem wind up ranking all time at Arkansas, period? Not just for freshmen. Maybe that's a question that we'll be able to ask at the end of the year. If so, then Arkansas has done the things that we feel like they're capable of doing, which means a deep, deep NCAA tournament run, right? But, I mean, hell, where are they going to stack up against some of John Calipari's legendary freshman backcourts that he has? Everybody likes to talk about the De'Aaron Fox and Malik Monk group. Like, when it's all said and done and it all shakes out, where will the Acuff and Thomas duo stack up against groups like that? We're going to find out. I'll say this, though. Being able to throw this kind of stuff out there and not sound like a complete lunatic this early on, that's telling, isn't it? What we've seen so far has been impressive. This freshman class as a whole, like in the country, ridiculously good. Ridiculous, man. Boozer, DeBansa, Darren Peterson, Koa Pete, balling out, Michael Brown. There's so many players that have been really impressive, and Cuff and Leak are in the thick of it. So me personally, like I am going to enjoy the hell out of this ride. And seeing these dudes on the road in an insane hostile atmosphere at Michigan State Saturday, it's going to be absolute cinema. It's appointment television. I can't wait for it. Now, from the sounds of it, John Calipari he's already starting to warm up to that idea of those two guys sharing the floor together more. We talk so much about, well, what's it going to look like with Acuff and DJ playing together, whatever. What about these 2 freshmen? And I thought Cal had some pretty interesting words about his plans from a minute standpoint of at least the bare minimum of how much these guys need to be playing together. And listen, I co-sign heavily because they are so stylistically different, but they play so well off of one another, and it's hard to deny, especially as they learn to share the sugar a little bit more. Although they did combine for 11 assists in the opener, but I'm going to play this clip from Cal as he talks about those 2 kind of playing together and working off of each other here.
Play, I'm telling he and Malik, you got to respect your teammates. They are fine with you having the ball a lot, taking shots. No one's saying anything. You don't take a contested quick shot. You give it to somebody else so they can shoot it, because you're getting to shoot when you want to come. No one's saying anything. I'm not saying anything. Respect your teammates. He came down on the one side and he shot it. He could have thrown it to Nick. Nick would have given it back and rolled, throw it back to Nick, and Nick's dunking it. Now you make Nick's day. So they've got to learn that. They're not selfish. They're basically playing from old habits, which means I'm going to shoot as many as I can at times.
Yeah, just to follow up on that, what were your thoughts on, not just Darius going off, but him and Malik playing off each other at the end of the first half, and there was that stolen alley-oop.
They need to be on the floor together 20 minutes at least. I mean, it's pretty obvious, would you say? I mean, if anybody watched. So they need to be out there. So even if one doesn't start and the other starts the second half, whatever I do, I need to have at least 20 minutes of them together.
Agreed. I love it, man. Yes, do that. And then the other minutes can shake out however you want them to. Like we've now seen Arkansas do the thing with Acuff, Malik Thomas, and DJ Wagner sharing the floor together with a 3-guard lineup. I think that could be a lot of fun. When Carter's rolling, those two guys with Carter could be a lot of fun, or with Billy, if you want another defensive stopper in there. The possibilities are endless with what Arkansas can do. And I think with the way that Malik Thomas has defended so far, maybe better than advertised, at least better than I thought that he would be able to do. I like it, man. So yes, do that. And I also appreciated what he said at the beginning. He's right. That was the sequence that we talked about where it was like a crazy transition lob that they screwed up. And then the next trip down, they were on transition again, and Acuff pulled up that 3-pointer, and I was like, ooh, Cal's not going to like that, but he made it. And he was just worried about Nick Pringle getting his touches in there. But I like what he said, because we've talked about the percentage of shots that these guys have been taking. It was a little bit more spread out the other night, which was good, but they're not mad about it. They get it. I think that the team understands the type of talents that they're working with here. And so, yeah, you shared a little bit throughout the course of a ball game. They're not going to be mad if you're taking shots, as long as you don't have that tunnel vision. And between the two of them through 3 games, they've got nearly 30 assists combined. So I think that works out. But yeah, hey, listen, the more that you're, I think we could argue 2 best players are sharing the floor together, the better. I don't care if they're freshmen, seniors, super seniors, COVID transfers, G League drop downs, or whatever the hell. If they're your best players, put them on the floor together, man. I like it. And I'm looking forward to seeing what it looks like in a hostile environment. Folks, have you checked out Blue Ember Smokehouse yet? I mean, seriously, there are 6 locations in Arkansas: Fort Smith, Jonesboro, Texarkana, Little Rock, Hot Springs, and we will be at their Rogers location today, Wednesday. It's when the show's going out, for Inside Arkansas Live from noon to 2. Some good eating, good people, good deals for the holidays as well. If you want to spend more time with the family and less time in the kitchen, on Thanksgiving, for example, they can get you a whole turkey that feeds 18 to 20 for $69.95, a turkey breast that feeds 12 to 14 for $54.95, or a whole ham that feeds 18 to 20 for $65. Lots of side options as well: half pan or full pan mac and cheese, green beans, potato salad, baked beans, and sweet potato casserole there. That sounds phenomenal, by the way. Get your orders put in by November 21st, and they'll be ready for you to be picked up by November 26th, and they'll take care of you. Check out their website, www.blueembersmokehouse.com, or as you can see there on your screen, you can give them a call at any of their 6 locations. Thank you for supporting your local Blue Ember Smokehouse. Now, we've been talking about the freshmen here, and I can already tell it's going to be a long show again, man. That's where we're at, I think, at this point of the season. The legend will only grow if these 2 young guns go off at Michigan State this weekend, especially with it being, I mean, it's nearly a homecoming for Darius Acuff, Detroit man. Could you imagine? We can live in this world for a minute. Let's say that that Darius Acuff and Malik Thomas, they combined for 50 in a Razorback win at Breslin on Saturday. Man, oh man, that would be something. And it's possible for those 2 guys to do it. They're that good. But think for a minute about how John Calipari described this game in his press conference. It's on our YouTube channel if you haven't seen it already, and I think I'm getting ready to play a clip of some of what he said there. But a football game, a war, physical. You better foul out before you play soft. If you can't play physical, you can't play in this game. Those are some of the things that he was saying in there. And he's absolutely right. The Breslin Center was packed out for Colgate. And now it's a top 15 team coming into town on a Saturday. Place is going to be crazy. It's going to be nuts in there. It's going to be loud, hostile. It's going to be a grinding, heavyweight fight type of game. Tom Izzo is kind of the epitome of Big Ten basketball, like big, tough, defensive oriented, rebounding, low pace in possessions, that kind of game. And when I think about that, I think, you know what? experience is so important in early games like this. And I don't think John Calipari would have scheduled this game if it wasn't for his returning core guys. These 4 guys, Carter, DJ, Billy, and TB, all of them, they got to be locked in for this game if Arkansas is going to go over there and get it done. I guess the first question then for those guys would be, will you have all of them? Carter Knox on the mend from his toe sprain that he missed Monday's game against Southern with. I will let you listen to what Cal said, and then I'll tell you what I've heard about that. But he touches on a couple things on this clip I'm getting ready to play. He's going to open. He's talking about Isaiah Sealy, in case you're wondering. He had 12 points on 6 shots. He played 17 minutes. Carter was out and Billy was in foul trouble, and he stepped in and did a nice job. Way better in his second rotation than his first. But you'll kind of hear about where he's at in the pecking order. You'll get an update on Carter Knox, and then he also talks a little bit about what it's going to take to kind of play and succeed in this game at Michigan State.
It's got a long way to go. We love the kid, but defensively, coming up with balls, knowing where he's supposed to be, he's just behind the other guys that way. But he is talented, and he's going to have opportunities. Hopefully Carter plays this weekend, which means it'll limit his opportunities. But if Carter doesn't play, then you're going to play some. The game, the one thing I like, the game got a little physical. We had some guys that didn't play well in a physical game. And let me explain. This game we're playing this weekend, this football game we're going to play Saturday, you better be physical and know foul out. In the first half, foul out. But you cannot just get pushed around. You're not going to be able to play in the game.
You mentioned Carter there. Do you expect him to play this weekend, or is this still TBD? Just kind of where you feel like he's
probably have to wait. He's got one more day off. We have a day off tomorrow. But if he can't practice Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, then you can't play. What, you're going to be able to go 70% in that game? Can't do it. If you're not healthy enough to go, then you shouldn't go. We'll play with who we have.
Fair enough. Well, there you have it. I mean, first of all, it sounds like, Isaiah Sealy needs a little bit more seasoning before he's trusted in a game like this. Is that, you guys picking up what I'm putting down there? That's what it sounds like to me. A little bit behind the other guys, very talented, got some catching up to do. Okay, fine. If Carter, let's say he's out Saturday, I almost feel like it's more likely they play 7 unless foul trouble kicks in than maybe going to Sealy there and having him play a huge role in the rotation. We'll see. Yeah, and honestly, on the road at Michigan State, I think they've shot like 80. I mean this. I think they've shot 85 free throws between their last exhibition and their season opener. You're probably going to have some fouls, so you might wind up seeing them anyway. Hell, we might get some Elmer Jaffich run, like the last minute of the first half or whatever, just come to screen some guys, foul some guys, whatever you got to do. The good thing is Michigan State shoots a lot of free throws. They don't make many of them. So at least so far, that's been the case. But there's that. Now, as for Carter, I was told before the game on Monday, mid-afternoon, that he was probably going to get held out for precaution with the anticipation that he would be good to go on Saturday. Now, that's the plan. Okay, and that's encouraging to me. It tells me that, at least at the moment, they don't think it's something that's super serious or a big deal that they're playing coy about, so much as we just want to be really careful about it. We don't want it to be a lingering thing or something that gets worse or an issue down the road. Okay, that makes sense. But John Calipari is obviously right when he says it. It's going to depend on how he looks and feels at practice, which starts today on Wednesday. So we'll see what we hear about how much he participates and what that looks like over the course of the next few days. I am tentatively expecting to have Carter on Saturday, but anyone who's telling you for certain is probably lying to you, because I do think that's genuine, that they want to see how he feels and how he looks before that game. Because, yeah, it's an important one, but if you think about it, after this one, you've got, 3 weeks before you play another really, really tough opponent. And so, like, it's one game, but could you have him back 100% for Duke at that point if you needed to? That's all if he has a setback or if he doesn't feel good at practice. So we'll see, but that's where I think this is at. Now, I will say you need him. Duh. Wow. Groundbreaking stuff there, Curtis. I mean, come on, man. But seriously, I think you need him so much that his availability would probably impact my predicted winner in this game. Like, if I don't know for sure if Carter's playing or not, like, I wouldn't put any coin on it. If I knew that he was, I'd go with Arkansas. But, he's big, physical, experienced wing who defends his position. He thrives in games like this. He's your most talented returner. Yeah, you need him. The other guys, though, like, I feel really good about where TB is at right now. I think he's going to be good for this game. His athleticism, I think, is going to – it's a contrast. It's like he's going to have to play physical, which he's gotten a lot better at doing, but I think his athleticism can cause problems for Michigan State. Even though he was hampered by foul trouble against Southern or whatever, don't you feel pretty good about Billy being ready for a game like this? He's such a tone setter for toughness. You saw the way he played on the road at Memphis. I think about that St. John's game in the NCAA tournament. Yeah, he's going to be fine for this one. No doubt in my mind. But, the real one here, though, is like with a couple youngsters in the backcourt who are going to be getting their first taste of life on the road under the spotlight in a big game like this, it sure would be nice to get your third-year starter and your team leader back on track, wouldn't it? I mean, there is no better day than Saturday to see DJ Wagner just kind of bust through and have one of his vintage outings. He's definitely searching for it. He's definitely due, and Arkansas is really going to need him dialed in East Lansing. If DJ plays well, if he has his typical game, not what we've seen so far this year, I feel really good about Arkansas's chances going into this. He struggled shooting against Southern, but he impacted things. We only had 7 assists. He was a little bit up and down defensively at times. He was really dialed. That was kind of the whole team, though. 2 of 7 from 3, but I think he made his first and his last, which is good. But they've got to get him going. You can tell he's still just searching a little bit. And he'll find it, and Arkansas will find it, but it's just a matter of when. And you can tell from the way that Cal talks about him that he knows it's just a matter of time before it clicks for him with this new cast of characters that he's playing with. Let's listen to this clip.
He's gotten so much better. Billy's gotten better. Carter's gotten better. DJ's gotten better. I mean, the thing that I loved about DJ today, missed all those shots and then made one. I mean, that's big. That means you're battling yourself. And you miss 4 or 5. What does that lead to? 12 misses in a row? Miss 4 or 5 and then make one. And one of them he missed like a layup thing. And he just got to keep battling. Like I told him, just play to be your best version. Be your best version. Doesn't mean you make every shot, but attack. Get in the lane with 2 feet. Shoot those floaters. You'll make jump shots. He's been working his butt off. So, but he's good, and which means we got pretty good guards.
Correct. You do have pretty good guards, and that's kind of been a big part of my point when we talk about this team and where we do our report cards or whatever, is what makes this so scary. If I'm any coach in the country that's watching the tape that has to play Arkansas, is, dang man, this team's looked really good, and DJ Wagner doesn't have it going yet. Man, this team's looking really good, and Malik Ewan hasn't clicked yet. Like there's just guys who are going to be huge parts of this that are still trying to find their way, and when they do, you don't want to see the Hogs, man. Like I think this is a good time for Arkansas to catch Michigan State, because I think they're still in figure it out mode, and that's a Tom Izzo thing. They're going to be way better when they get into Big Ten play, and closer to March, you're not going to want to see them. And Arkansas is in a little bit of a different situation because they've got some continuity. So does Michigan State. We'll talk about that in a minute. But you don't want to see the Hogs, man, when they're firing on all cylinders. I think they're going to be a tough team to deal with once we get into league play for sure. Today's episode of the Pod at the Palace is also presented by the Eye Center of Northwest Arkansas. Man, it's humbling to have so many awesome partners and sponsorships that we work with here at Inside Arkansas, and the Eye Center of Northwest Arkansas is one of them. Your vision is so important to the quality of your life. I know that firsthand. Not something that was an issue for me for most of my life, and then suddenly it became one. And getting to figure that out, it's been huge. And they've got award-winning eye doctors. They're board certified and professionally active, but their patients talk most about how caring and friendly they are. They really they blend, all your vision care needs and all the new technology with that old-fashioned personal attention. It makes you feel right at home. And they've got surgery options for you, whether you need cataract surgery or the refractive surgery for patients who are struggling with their readers or glasses or contacts. Really options for everyone. By the end of 2025, if you want to make your holiday season in clear view, they have availability for eye exams with their new provider, Dr. Rebecca Brown, right now, as well as their other providers who are available to fit into your schedule. So schedule an appointment today with the Eye Center of Northwest Arkansas. Give them a call at 479-442-2020. You can also check out their website at www.eyecenternwa.com for more info. Okay, it's this game, and again, like I'm trying to avoid getting too far into the weeds because I imagine Friday or Saturday morning or whatever, we'll have a deep dive preview on this. It's gonna be fun, talking matchups and everything else. But it's it's funny to be two completely different people and styles of coaches. John Calipari and Tom Izzo, they share a lot of similarities, probably some that they wish they didn't. I got to be honest with you. I would love to see somebody show me another coach with a similar resume who gets scrutinized more than these two guys do. I mean, two of just a very select few of active Hall of Fame coaches. Both have cut down the nets in their careers. Both have demonstrated consistent, high-level success in this sport for decades. Yet neither one of them can seem to escape the allegations, man. They're washed. The game's passed them by. They're behind the times. They're stubborn. The list goes on, but they continue to win. And I think some of it is the new age of folks who follow the sport or cover the sport. Maybe they just don't like it because these guys haven't really embraced the transfer portal or like the analytical approach to modern offense, threes or layups. But they both still win a hell of a lot of games. And they were both in the second weekend of the NCAA tournament last year. It's like something's working, right? Now, Michigan State, they opened their season Monday night with an 80-69 win over Colgate. It wasn't pretty, folks. I got to be honest with you. And I've been able to go and watch some of that on the old YouTube, and they struggled a little bit. Tom Izzo, he was not happy about it, man. Like, there's no other way to put it. The first thing he said was that the win might be the only positive he could find. I'll tell you what, you want to know how he feels about his team headed into this game Saturday? I've got 10 seconds for you, and then we'll talk about it.
So a lot of work to do, or we're going to get our ass embarrassed on Saturday. And maybe that's good. It's good to have that pressure on us.
Dang, man. Let's just play that one more time.
So a lot of work to do, or we're going to get our ass embarrassed on Saturday. And maybe that's good. It's good to have that pressure on us.
Hey, I mean, listen. Kudos to Tom Izzo for, listen, admitting you have a problem is the first step to recovery. And you got a problem coming to East Lansing on Saturday, am I right? So, hey, don't get me wrong when I say this. Michigan State, that's a very good team. It's a very good team. They're always well coached. But I do like these two rosters are built similarly, and we'll get into that more later in the week. The only difference is that Arkansas is just more talented. They just are. That's not a, Razorback red colored glasses argument here. It's just true. That doesn't make you the better team necessarily, but early in the year, I like to think that talent wins out when you got two teams that are trying to figure some stuff out. Now they got home court advantage, so maybe that balances some, but you get what I'm saying. Both teams made second weekends runs last year. Both teams are losing key pieces, but they're also leaning on, returning cores from these groups. And we know all about Arkansas's, but like for Michigan State, Jeremy Fears, I think he's one of the better table setters in the country. Just shy of 200 assists last season. I think he's probably looked like their best player so far through these exhibitions in their first game. Cohen Carr is back. He's like an Adu Thero level athlete, legitimately. Jackson Kohler, I think is going to be a tough assignment. He's 6'9", 250 pounds, and he can stretch the floor and knock down threes, and he rebounds like a madman. I think he had 16 and 15 against Colgate. And they got a couple other guys too, but like Izzo, he flat called them all out the other night, saying, hey, they're like, these guys are not guarding or simply playing well enough from these exhibitions through the opener. Like he's not satisfied with it. And he was pissed off about their effort on the glass and their effort defensively. He said he thought they were better on the boards against Colgate, but not where they need to be guarding the ball. And he didn't mince any words. And he also said that like the next few days at practice will be very, very interesting. I am certain that this is a very strategic motivational tactic to get his guys to like level up and ratchet up their intensity and physicality before Arkansas comes to town. He knows. And the challenge for the Razorbacks will be to, they got to match that. And, if this group gets overwhelmed by, a little bit of game pressure, the way they did out of the gates against Memphis, I don't know that they'll be able to flip it on its head against Michigan State. So Arkansas's got to come correct. Like they got to be ready to play right from the tip. I love this challenge for Arkansas. I really do. And I can't wait to dive deeper into this, once we get closer to the game time. But today, I just wanted to share with you guys that clip and then, some of the thoughts about just where Tom Izzo's mind is at going into this game, because in a lot of ways it parallels how Cal is feeling about his squad. Now, like Cal wasn't as much of a curmudgeon after the Southern game, but it was I think it was pretty easy to tell from his remarks that he wasn't pleased with some of the areas that they let slip compared to their exhibitions. Like, was the standard that you guys set for yourselves upheld? Remember, he said that after the Cincinnati game, like, you told on yourselves, because now I know and everybody knows how good you can be. You got to choose if you want to be that way every night. And you could be less than that and beat Southern by 30 points, but can you be less than that and beat Michigan State on the road? Maybe not. So I like it. I also say, in fairness to Tom Izzo, as mad as he was after that game, you got to listen to it. It's like 17 minutes of him just being pissed the entire time after a double-digit win. But Arkansas has looked substantially better through their dress rehearsals and their opening act than Michigan State has. They struggled with Colgate. They lost to UConn in an exhibition and did not play well. I didn't think they played well in their first exhibition against Bowling Green, and they won that one, but they didn't look great. They're still figuring some stuff out. So I don't know, folks. I really hope that Arkansas is at full strength. I also really hope they come out ready to play and just look like a team that's ready for a moment like this early in the season. You know what I mean? Because in these opportunities last year, if you guys recall, against Baylor and Illinois, even that bad Miami team, it was clear like Arkansas had a lot of work that needed to be done. They weren't quite ready for games like that, and it showed. But everything that we've seen so far, I mean, doesn't it tell us that they're ahead of schedule and this team might be built a little bit different? Okay, prove it. Prove it in a game like this. Like, what a statement it would be if the Hogs were able to come out and get it done in this type of showcase. I cannot wait for this game. I really wish that we didn't have to, we're like 72 hours away, a little bit more than that. Time flies when you're having fun, so we'll do the best we can to make it entertaining up until that point. We're also presented today by our friends over at Walter Christmas Lighting of Arkansas. I have my mock-ups, my blueprints, my sketches, whatever you want to call it, from Brett for the Christmas lighting. I'm pumped up about it. I'm excited about it. He's going to be out this week to get us switched over from Halloween to Christmas. And he can do that for you. If you're in Northwest Arkansas or the River Valley, have Walter Christmas Lighting come out, install, and set up your house with professional Christmas lighting like you've never seen before. They provide all the materials, any color, any pattern that you can imagine. They do the installation, they take care of the maintenance, and they do the takedowns for you in January. Text our guy Brett for a free estimate, 479-459-1380. Check out their website at walterchristmaslighting.com or like them on Facebook by scanning the QR code there on your screen. It's Walter Christmas Lighting of Arkansas, your local holiday lighting experts. I cannot wait to get decked out for Christmas lighting. It's crazy because I've always been one of those guys. It's like, man, I'd love to do this. I want my house to be decked out. I want to look the part. I want to stand out in the neighborhood. And then it comes time to do it. And it's been a long week at work, and we work every Saturday too, right? Work, but like covering the games or whatever. And Sunday, I'm just trying to chill, man. I'm trying to get out there, climbing up on a ladder, hanging these lights and everything. Oh, but somebody will come out and do it for me? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That sounds incredibly lazy. I promise I'm active. I'm a decent handyman, but that kind of stuff, come on, man. Okay. Last segment of the show here, and then we'll wrap up for the day. Another long episode. Like, what? I got to think about this a little bit, because what are we going to talk about for the next few days? I already know what we're going to talk about tomorrow. It's going to be one of the Curtis gets mad and yells at the clouds and the computers type of show. But anyway, we've got movement on the recruiting trail, significant movement. You tell me if this is notable or not. The morning after the season opener, Arkansas played at 6 o'clock. Game ended a little after 8. Cal got out of there probably around 9 after his press conference. The next morning, Cal hopped a jet, flew out to see 5-star Baba Oladotun for what's at least his 4th stop out there. Maybe more than that. We know Baba was on campus and had his official visit around that Cincinnati exhibition, the Auburn football game. About 2 hours later, after that came out, Baba, who was believed to be maybe scheduling some more visits, Tennessee, one namely there that was included. No, not happening. He released a list of 4 finalists, and now the word is trickling out that he might be a guy who commits and signs early, like within the next couple weeks here. That's big news. Is that a coincidence that happened on the day that Cal flew out to see those guys again? No, I don't think it is. The Final 4: Arkansas, Kentucky, Maryland, and Georgetown. Now it is it's eyebrow raising, people eyebrow, the Rock, that Virginia Tech did not make this list. And you want to know why I was telling you guys that they were a threat to watch and why I thought they might be the primary contender with Arkansas? Because I had 2 very strong sources tell me before his Arkansas visit that Virginia Tech they had made it clear they were going to beat any offer NIL wise that's put on the table for him. So I thought, okay, so they're going to compete with the bank. Add that to the proximity to home. Dad being a former player there, that sure checks a lot of boxes. So we at least got to pay attention to him. Well, as it turns out, James Franklin is he's not the only man stretching Virginia Tech's budgets beyond its limits, right? Because they're out off the list. And I think that's huge, because I feel like Arkansas was in the lead anyway, with Virginia Tech probably being the primary competitor. So I feel even better about it now, frankly. Folks, Arkansas nailed it with their visit. Absolutely nailed it. And when Cal gets laser focused on a recruit and he zeroes in on somebody and goes all in like he has here, he's hard to beat. And, Baba and his family, they're feeling the love and the connection with Arkansas and the staff in a major way. Arkansas has been and still is in a great position with Baba. I believe they're in the driver's seat for the stretch run here. The other finalists, Maryland, I think is the least like I don't think he's going to Maryland. Okay, I don't think that's going to be a thing. The only path with Kentucky that I could see, because they're just prioritizing elsewhere, first of all. Second of all, the only path I see with Kentucky is if they took all the Tyron Stokes funds and moved them to Baba to up the ante, which I just don't believe is going to happen. Because I think Baba might make up his mind before Tyron Stokes does, first of all. Second of all, if they were in that situation, I think they would move it towards Caleb Holt and some other guys there. And by that point, I don't know, the NIL and all that stuff matters to everybody, right? Like money talks, but that family is not as motivated by that as others. Like in some recruitments, it's like biggest bag wins. And that is not the case with Baba necessarily. I mean, obviously it matters, but they are very in tune with his development. What sets him up for success, what's going to get him to the league, what's going to put him in the best position to maximize himself as a player. It's a family that's rooted in deep faith. There's a lot that goes into it beyond that with them. So I'm not really seeing it with Kentucky. Georgetown, that was, who I kind of had Georgetown in the top 3. And I thought it was Arkansas, Virginia Tech, Georgetown in that order. And I think that was the case for a minute. Obviously, it's not now because Virginia Tech's out. But naturally, I would slide Georgetown up a notch. I did some asking around today, and it sounds like Ed Cooley has left a pretty strong impression. So I don't want to be dismissive at all of the hometown school here. Folks, it's hard not to be very excited about Arkansas's chances, especially if he announces within the next couple weeks. So, we'll keep close tabs on it and keep you updated. But as of today, it looks like John Calipari's back in his bag on the recruiting trail. And if you were able to add this unicorn, if you recall, he's essentially a 6'10" guard who can dribble, pass, shoot, do all kinds of things, was the number 1 player in the 2027 class. He reclassified up a year. He's still a top 10 5-star, still growing into his body. I mean, he's 6'10", and he's added 20, 25 pounds over the last, the course of the last calendar year. He's going to continue to get bigger and stronger. He's different, man, and would be a really fun one to add to that mix of just absolute dogs that Arkansas has right now with J.J. Andrews and Abdu Toure. Could be a lot of fun. And they're still very much in the thick of it with, Brandon McCoy. That smoke is starting to blow a little bit more towards Arkansas with a guy like Jordan Smith Jr. It's kind of blowing in the other direction with Arafon, but we'll see what happens there. But they're going to put together a hell of a class here. So I'm excited to see how it plays out. We'll definitely keep you posted. But I'm going to get out of here for today, folks. Appreciate everybody. You guys know the drill, man. If you're listening to the show and you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel Inside Arkansas, go ahead and do that for us while you're here. It's free for you. It doesn't change anything. Doesn't cost you anything. But it helps us. We're just trying to, continue to expand our reach and get all the listeners that we can out there. So we'd appreciate that. If you listen in podcast form, people do that, by the way. Apple, Spotify, anywhere that you might listen, you can find the Pod at the Palace there as well. And you can find us right back here tomorrow morning, bright and early. It's been Curtis Wilkerson with Inside Arkansas on the Pod at the Palace. Everybody have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.